like a usual time, like you go administer something during end month, so they are able to afford a certain.
But it is within household consumption.
Yes.
Yeah, because assuming it's within my household and it's end month, and that is regularly what happens with at the end of the month, why not?
But then now I'm wondering, when you're administering the second 24-hour recall, and assume you come now like 15 days later,
that is too
That's too long.
It doesn't take that long, yeah. It doesn't take that long.
So it has to be less, at least a day, but...
And then on the other hand, maybe this is stretching beyond, but the other aspect is we do seasonality. Lean season and season of plenty, because that also determines. During season of plenty, I have a lot of vegetables. I have maize, I have this. My feeding pattern will likely not be the same as when we have the dry spells. You see? So again, that variation will come out during the seasonalities. Yes.
Sammy, again,
Yes.
what you are talking about the
spreading of the recalls.
What do you mean again?
Okay, the repeats of 24-hour recall, we are not going to do 100%, we are choosing to do 50%.
50%.
Yeah. That 50%, not to be statistically biased, you have to spread in all those villages. If one village, if there are like 5 villages, you have to pick like 10 households for all those 5 villages. And then the aspect of population has to come in. If one village has a higher population than the next, this one has to take like more repeats than the next village.
Ah, okay.
So you actually just run a random sampling the same way you did in the initial random sample frame.
Oh, the second.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily the first one, but then you can also do the random selection for the second round as well.
Yes.
Second round as well.
Yeah.
So, quick question. When assuming you've gone to a village and you've picked 10, and that's like what is the standard size for most villages of we've picked 10. So when you're doing the second recall, you're supposed to take 5 for each village.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the 50% aspect. If you're doing 100%, then you have to repeat the 10 all the time of them.
Have you found a situation where there is a very huge difference between the first and the second recall? Like an example, the first recall lifestyle is 2 meals a day. Second recall
within the same
Few
survey.
days.
No, within the same survey, the difference is normally not much. It will only vary if you do maybe the midline or the end line,
You bring in that aspect of
Seasonality.
Again, seasonal calendars, that's what will bring them. But within, say you've interviewed Irene today, and then you interview her on Friday, there is no much.
So like in here we have 3 seasonality, we have long rain, short rain, and then dry spell. Yeah.
Dry?
Dry.
Oh, dry spells.
Yeah.
So if you do it across the seasons, of course,
You'll notice the
Significant
variation.
now, the variation.
And then now, if you do now an intervention and then you do an end line, you'll again notice a difference. Because there are those you find that the food is there but the knowledge is not there. So now they know, oh, these vegetables are good. So when you come again, you'll notice there's a difference. Yeah. So seasons matter, interventions matter, and also the timings.
So when you're carrying out this 24-hour recall, you have to consider the season. So you might conduct the recall on one season in time, right? You complete it completely. And then for another season, come on the wet, when it's long rains, you conduct the 24-hour recall, and then you do another recall when it's short rains.
No, you see now that's now objectivity. What's the objective of the study? We want to see the seasonal variation in dietary patterns. If that is our objective, we shall assess both. Yeah.
What is our objective in what you do?
We shall see when we get there.
So you can see the first question, even before you take a quick list, was yesterday a celebration or feast day where the child ate unusual foods. There is 1 for yes, 2 for no. So if you tell me it was a normal day, you just 1, you continue. But you tell me that yesterday the child was feeling sick, or the mother was feeling sick, Now you have to come maybe the next time. I'm not supposed to take the dietary intake of that matter. So did the child feel unwell yesterday? If it's yes, you don't take. Yes. If it's no, did the child feel unwell yesterday? Yes, you don't take. If it's no, you continue. So this one, that's why I'll tell you.
You don't take all the service.
You don't go with the
You don't continue.
You don't continue.
Yes.
Mm.
So this one, this is where now you have to be organized as an interviewer. How you ask the mother the quick list. So it has to be in a way it has to be procedural. In a way you can't take like supper and then you finish with breakfast. You have to ask the mother, which time do you wake up? You told her I wake up at 6. Which first meal do you take up? I take porridge, and you record the time. If it's 8, I took porridge. The next column, yeah, you indicate. So you take all quick list, and then after finish you ask the mother, have you forgotten anything? Can you remember? Because maybe if you continue, and the mother will recall like, I ate something I've remembered. It will be a challenge for you to fill the next page. So you have to ask the mother, can you remember anything? Maybe there is a fruit you ate. You have to record it in the quick list. Yes. And then now the next
Maybe
page.
just before you proceed,
Mm.
there's something Patrick had mentioned. There's this quick list for index child. Patrick asked who's an index child.
Oh yeah.
And why a mother and a
Why a mother and a child?
age specifically?
You know, the index child, because a mother, you may come into my house. I have 3 children of your target age, but among the 3, you can only select one. That selected child is the index child. And assuming you had selected child X and they've been unwell, we will not take that household. We will proceed to the next household. So basically, the index child is the child of our interest and of whom we collect their feeding patterns. And ideally, it should be the youngest
The youngest in the
among the 6 to 59. So if you have one who's 7 months, another one is 2 years, another one is 4 years, the 2 months, the 7 months one is the child we select.
Why?
So for Viga, we were targeting
Because
6 to 23 months children, below 2 years but above 6 months. Yes. the
So
breastfeeding child.
if the youngest is the 6 month, you're supposed to take the 6 months baby.
Yes, we need to
For
take
index
the-
child.
for
Why?
the
Why?
index child.
Why?
One, the main reason why we selected the youngest for longevity, because you know the project was just not a one-stop kind of activity. We will come back again, so it's easy to monitor progress. Whereas when you take a 4-year-old or a 58-month-old, very soon they'll jump over the gap, so they will not really give impact of what we are doing. So if we take maybe the 8-month-old, 6 months, ideally, I wouldn't go for a 6 months because ndo wameanza kukula. So you may just find it's maybe water in porridge. I would select the middle one because them at least the diet is a bit diverse. Because now if that one we shall be moving in progress. When we come maybe to the intervention stage, they'll still be within our limit and we'll be able to monitor progress from the time we started up to the time where we've done our intervention. And after.
And then if you come back to the homestead for second round, and then you found that the target children was not there, target child was not there.
For the second
They
recall,
repeat.
Yeah. Can you also do the same homestead with maybe
Different child.
different child?
That one.
ideally that's when now we do the replacement.
So it
Because
means
many a time you may find the mother has which is a very common occurrence. The mother was there today, tomorrow she's out.
You can take the first recall, and then when you come the second recall,
There's no one
They
there.
have shifted also.
so it
They
means
have gone for
you can
safari.
take the another homestead, not that
Yeah.
homestead.
Another homestead within the sample frame.
Yeah, within the sample.
Within the
Yeah,
sample
sure.
frame and with the ones that you'd already done the first recall. Because what you're looking at is a half repeat. So we won't take a new person. We shall take, because like this one, it was both ABD, 24-hour recall and CAP. So we needed data of all the 3. So we cannot take a new sample. We'll only take among those we'd already interviewed administered the other 3 questionnaires. Yeah, to make a complete set.
So you think if a mother
Nimeelewa.
has like 2 children within the same age group, you pick the younger
We pick
one.
the younger one.
How do you handle twins?
We select one.
Like mine.
Select one.
We select one.
Yeah, it has happened.
We
It
select
has
one.
happened.
Mm.
You select
We
that
select one.
But most likely they will be eating the same.
Yeah, they're eating the same. We select one. And actually, like a typical scenario, what happens, even for those, what I've been explaining is an ideal situation. But you find that a typical scenario, I mean, these are my kids, all of them are under 5 years. When I make porridge, it's the same.
Same.
If it's this, so if this youngest is unwell, we can use the middle one. Because sometimes it becomes so emotional for the mothers. You cannot select my house and you leave me, yet I'm having a child again. You know? So with consultation, we agree this one is also under 5 within this same household for this
Feeding
same
the
mother. You know? Or even you can find a practical scenario. There's a grandchild, a mother with her child, and there's also a grandchild, and they feed the same, and they're under 5. We pick that.
Then how do you identify that?
The code is still the same. We are still under the same household. The same
house.
household. The only thing that will change is the name of the child.
Wait, I forgot kidogo.
Oh.
A mother has a daughter and a grandchild, the same
Yes.
age group, eh?
Yeah.
So and the grandchild is the younger one. Will you pick the grandchild?
No, during mobilization, you have to take the name of that child. Somebody who is doing mobilization has to take the name of the mother and each child of your interest. The child. So when you go to the household, you have given the name of the child.
So
Yeah.
when
No, you
sending the CHV, then we need to insist that kama it's the grandchild, achukue the child.
They write a list of all children who are done. That's why there's randomization of the selection. And that's why I said we have an ideal and the real. So the ideal is that we've randomized and we've selected baby Y. We come in this household, baby Y is unwell, but we have baby X and Z who feed within the same pot. You see?
So you
And
can
they're within our age group.
Brackets.
So now
Yeah.
we can pick.
So with consultation and agreement with the main supervisor, we simply just pick that because everything else remains. The mother is the same, the household ID is the same because the essence of the mother is to pick the feeding patterns and everything else. And this grandmother is the one who stands in as a mother. So everything else remains the same. And actually you may find a grandmother is there and the daughter is there.
Yeah.
And the grandmother is just around 45, wherever uko.
Yeah.
So the daughter steps in.
So the mobilizer writes every child in that home state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you are the one to choose the child.
Yeah.
Oh.
We actually not the computer chooses because we run them and it does a random selection of the children.
So what the mobilizer is supposed to do,
There's a program.
he or she has to base on something like a clinical card to see the date of birth of the child and the ID of the mother. If the mother is within that age bracket of 18 and 49. Yes. So the first thing when you go to the hospital, you ask, can I get the information of the child? She has to give you that clinical book. I don't know if in Orindo they have like this one in Kenya. You see the date of birth of the child. If the child falls under this age bracket, then you continue.
Proceed.
You proceed.
What if the mother does not fall into that age bracket? Like mother, grandmother, and whoever.
Is
and
there
the
a
mother-
daughter in that household? Because you see, the essence is we feed within the same pot. You know?
Yeah.
So we normally pick. That's why I still get
What
back
I'm
to this.
asking, yeah? There's a grandmother who's 40 whatever within the age bracket,
Yes.
but the mother of the child is maybe 16.
Yeah, she's in school.
She's still
So
in school.
what you ask, who takes care of
The child, the primary
The caregiver. That is how we don't call the mother. the
Yeah, we
caregiver.
do caregiver, not
We do
not
caregiver,
mother.
not the mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because that scenario is rampant mostly in Viga, where the grandmother is the one who takes care of the child. Mother is
But then if there are two,
Huh?
which one do you write it down? If
The one now.
if they have maybe two caregivers, maybe the grandmother,
And the mother
And
of the
mother.
child.
Within the same house.
Yeah.
It is the same household.
and then they are also cooking the same kitchen.
Within the same pot.
Ah.
Because now, for purposes of the knowledge, okay, I'm talking in a scenario where we're doing the CAP as well, knowledge, attitude, and practices. Because now we are doing the knowledge, attitude, and practices, we are doing the ABD. So matters learned, the mother may be having information. But the knowledge, attitude, and practices, the daughter will be more relevant.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, the pot is the same. So in terms of 24-hour recall, maybe what will differ is just the quantities. So personally, what I was doing, I was going for the girl. If the mother, with the consent of the mother, because sometimes the mother feels they need to be in control, especially if it's a mother-in-law. You interview them. But there are those who tell you, iyo mtoto atajibu, because pia mtoto ako na mtoto. And they are 18, that age of 18 to wherever. Yeah.
So, do you sometimes write the two names in caregiver?
No.
Just only one?
We just do one. So it's either Irene or Fiona. We can do Irene and Fiona.
So you need to decide.
You need to decide. And then now if you're doing the daughter, because you see, you may find that when this mobilizer was coming, it's me, the grandmother, who was there. They took my name. But now when you come in, you find this daughter, who's the mother to this child, is the one that is there. So it's the daughter you interview, and it's the daughter whose repeat 24-hour recall you will do. Yeah.
So also there's a possibility to change the caregiver's name. Not necessarily the name of the child, but also...
Yes. If they're within that age bracket, they're within the same household, they're within the same cooking pot. Because see now, assuming we are in this boma, this is his house, that is his house, I'm the wife of there, there's another wife here, we cannot interchange. If my mother, the household that was taken is this, these are two different foods, these are two different households. So much as he also has a child, we cannot interchange. Those are two different
Even
scenarios.
if they cook from the same pot.
No,
I'm
I've
assuming-
said the different pots.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Different
if it is
households.
like a daughter, let's say married, daughter married here, has a child, and then their mother-in-law is here, but they cook together and eat together.
For purposes of 24-hour recall, if the pot is the same, they share the same meals, that can work. But if I only come there to visit, I leave the child there, she takes care of the child for me, I come in the evening, I cook in my own pot, that is a totally different household, which maybe had not been sampled. But if it's within the sample frame, then it can work as a replacement after randomization again.
So I have a question. You have a case scenario where you've gone to conduct the 24-hour recall. The mother-in-law is present, and the mother, you're interviewing the mother. What if the grandmother decides to chip in because you've asked a question that is, how do you deal with something
That's
like
why
that?
you take charge. That's why you take charge.